Mhm.
So we have a Kelly in here, and Kelly's going to tell us a little bit about what it is to be coached in intuitive eating therapy by me, by Vera Prazak. So Kelly, thank you for coming in here and tell me what it is that made you to reach out to someone who's not providing diet solutions, someone who's not focused on weight loss, but on a food freedom.
Honestly, because I had come to the end of my rope and I felt like I had been through every program and every exercise program and weight loss program that um, I felt like, you know what, here's this holistic person. And I wanted to, I told my husband, I said, surely she'll help me. And so honestly, that's where I came from. I was like, you know what, she's my last hope.
Mm.
She's my last hope. And so that's when I started going to you, because these other companies were saying, eat less, move more, eat less, move more. And I could not, because I have physical limitations. I have arthritis through my body. I have fibromyalgia. I have hip issues. I have back issues. And so I physically cannot move any more than I'm already trying to move without a ton of pain. And so
Yeah.
people just weren't listening to me. And I needed someone who was going to listen.
Yeah.
And that's when I found you.
Wow, thank you very much. I'm so happy. And I'm so like our journey was so revealing and so beautiful. And I would go through it again together, because it's not a journey of pain and restrictions and whatnot. It's about unraveling what you can have and what you want to have in your life. I love that. Do you want to think about how was your relationship with food before we met, and what has changed in the past?
Mhm. Yeah, my relationship with food was I tied food to my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was stress eating. Everything was tied to, or even just an emotionally. I'm happy. I think I'm going to eat. Um, I'm stressed. I'm going to eat. Everything was an emotion because that was the way I grew up. I mean, if I was sad, my mom was like, have a cookie. You know, if you're happy, hey, let's have some cookies. So that was the way I grew up. And I did not, I just didn't grow up with, hey, let's have, we were meat and potatoes. We weren't all these different kinds of vegetables. And so I had shared that with you. I was like, this is going to be difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
And you weren't like, well, too bad. You're going to have to change all your ways instantly. You were like, that's okay. That's okay. And that, sorry,
That's so good.
baby wants to be here.
Happy.
He's like, hey. So, and you were like, that's okay. And you were the first person who said that's okay. Everybody
Oh,
else was like, well, that's what you need to do.
you need to try
And
harder.
so, yeah. And so, all these other programs were like, well, that's the formula. And so when we went through, I mean, it was just, I learned a lot from you and I learned a lot from the modules. But I mean, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, it was when we did the one-on-one coaching, um, which was a huge leap for me because I wasn't sure I wanted to. You're on the other side of the world. I didn't know you. And, but you really, really helped me because you're a nutritionist and you were talking about food freedom, but I needed to talk about some issues that I was going through. And like you said, I don't know how to deal with those issues, but I'm willing to help you. And that was amazing to me. That was so amazing. Like in our Zoom calls, you were like, I'm so willing to work with you, but please know that I'm not certified in that area. I'm certified in this area. And so we went through and you gave me such freedom. I mean, it was wonderful. We like eating a piece of cake was not eating a piece of cake for me. Like I could have cake sitting on our counter, and it was like pick, 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 pick through the day. And pretty soon half a cake was gone. And then you talked to me about making the cake an event.
Yeah.
And that was it was new to me. And people might be like, well, that's kind of crazy. It's a piece of cake, but it wasn't to me. It was not just a piece of cake to me. It was it's what I ran to. It was my emotion. And I tied my emotion up with that cake. And so you talked to me about making the cake an event, like slice the cake, go get some tea, sit down with the cake and savor every bite, go slowly. And that's what we learned in the modules too. Eat slowly because you'll fill up if you eat too fast. And so I did that. And that was so amazing. That was freedom. And so I learned so much more about that. And I learned so much more about myself and being okay with that, you know what? I didn't drop 30 or 40 pounds, and that's okay. I didn't care at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't care because I felt better.
Yeah.
I felt better about myself. And I've had so many people tell me, wow, you look amazing. Wow, you look like you feel amazing.
Yeah.
And I said, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, that's the point. When we focus on weight loss, we usually just put our life aside and we don't even think about our happiness. We don't even think about if we are actually enjoying living in that moment. But no one ever gonna give you the day back. You live every day only once. And if you are suffering through the day, if you don't have to, then you need to make it change. You need to change it. And you did. And I was so grateful for you having you to work with you one-on-one, because it was beautiful relationship together. So if you would want to tell everyone who might be listening, what was something that you would recommend them to do, if you would recommend them to work with me, and what do you think is the main thing why they should leave the dieting behind and go on this food freedom journey?
Oh my goodness, because I mean, it is such freedom. It's freedom. Hold on one second. You will love yourself again. You'll love yourself again, honestly. You'll learn so much. And you can say, well, I learned so much on this program and this program and this program, but no, I thought I did too. I mean, I learned moderation, and I learned this, and I learned that, and I learned that you're supposed to have, so many cups of this and so many servings of this. I mean, I learned all that. But until I got with you, I didn't learn anything. When I got with you, that's when I learned. That's when I learned it's all in here, and it's all about what is inside. And yes, you're educated. You educate and through the modules, but it's about freedom. It really is. And I've lost about 15 pounds. But I'm not, that's a back burner thing for me now. And it's hard for people with fibromyalgia to lose weight. And that was always my big thing. I'm on so many medications that help, I won't lose weight. Da, 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 da. That is a back burner thing for me now. You know what? I know you and I talked about how certain foods cause inflammation. And I was always like, but I like those foods. And you were like, okay, well, you know what? What about just cutting them down a little bit, or cutting them down out a day a week and see how you feel? And you were never like, let's take everything out right away. Let's just do it out right away. You never did that. And that's what was so incredible.
Yeah. It was really about not cutting things out, but looking at how your body feels after eating them.
Your body
then
feels.
decides if you want to keep them in the amount you're having, or if you want to change that.
Exactly. And you know what? I'll have a piece of cake and I'll make it about the event. And then afterwards I can say, wow, I'm feeling inflamed and I'm feeling this and I'm feeling that, but you want to know something? I liked that piece of cake and I'll take the inflammation today. And then other days I'm like, you know what, I really didn't, because I've had cake 5 times this week and I won't take the inflammation next week. It's choices. And then you feel in control of your choices.
Yes.
The choices aren't in control of you.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's exactly what the food freedom, body freedom, life freedom is about. You are the one who can call the shots.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Kelly. This was really, really helpful. And I know
you were so helpful.
If you're starting this journey, or if you haven't even started, you're going to be scared the same way as Kelly was, everyone was, because you never even thought after 20, 30 years of dieting that you can be in control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or 50. 50 years. Yeah. Yeah. So it was, yeah, I highly recommend. Vera is just wonderful.
Thank you.